And we're back! Welcome to another episode of Awesome Stuff Badly with me, Uncle Dr. Ernie. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to my man Roman Mars and Radiotopia. I'm sure no one's going to be watching this before they complete their goals, so it's more for historical interest. But I was really just touched by him sharing his story about how his project, 99% Invisible, went from being kind of like this, just a crazy idea of one guy with his recording studio, into this huge movement, and now a collective where amazing storytellers can get together to produce great work and provide a secure, healthy environment for themselves and their families. It is just such an amazingly, I don't know what the word is, inspiring, comforting, heartwarming, elevating thing to not just create great work, but create a context where other people can do great work, but not just that, where they can live awesome lives while creating great work. That's really kind of what I'm hoping to do with the Swan Factory in a small way, or even a huge way, is create a context where other people can live awesome lives while doing great work. And so go Roman Mars, go Radiotopia, and go Swan Factory. Let's get started with prayer. God, I just thank you for today. I thank you that each day your mercies are new. I thank you for all the encouragement I've gotten from my family and from your word to just be faithful in doing good work and trusting you for the outcome. Thank you for the amazing team of people I have a privilege of working with. Thank you that even when things go wrong, you make awesome stuff happen. I pray that we would just do awesome stuff badly, but a little bit better today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So let's get started. Now, last time I was fighting with the node streams, trying to get the output to show up in the web page. And it's great that I take breaks because I realized that was the wrong way to solve this problem. In fact, I've been looking at it completely backwards. So this morning when I woke up, I was thinking, oh, instead of trying to fight the test harness to make it do something that I want, let's let it do what it wants in a way that'll work better for the project as a whole. So here's the clever idea. So as you may recall, we have our actual little website here, index.html, which is not working because we've broken a bunch of stuff. That's fine. And I created a separate test project. Let's see if I actually saved all my... no, I didn't. What's going on there? Yeah, that's all the crap that I don't need. So let's just back that out. Oh, sorry, check out branches and files are in the same namespace. Get just bizarre that way. Is instead of creating a whole separate infrastructure around testing, what I should do is take advantage of the fact that tape wants to write to the console and have it always there. And what I just do is create a little... So first thing I'll do is just go ahead and get rid of this and just make that a native part of the framework. And better yet, instead of making it part of that, just make it part of main. So have main just call test. And that solves a whole ton of problems. And is sufficiently big that I should actually just go and check this out into a new branch. Let's just go with this. Is all still test stuff, right? But boom, git rm web/test.html. Kaboom. And that what I really want to be doing is calling test but I want to do this as a module. So where's my, get the syntax consistent here, right? So this is going to be sports test. And then we can actually also then pass in this RX business. So we don't have to do all this futzing around and recompiling everything twice. We can just reuse what we're getting from, that is not rest, that is test. And right, so we get a link to our HTML rendering reactive template engine thingamajob. Although actually we don't have to, do we actually need that? Because we're not really generating HTML that we want to display on the screen. We just need a dummy object that we can call methods on. Yeah, so let's simplify this thing further and give us better isolation and not worry about that. We'll see how far we can go. Just Rx equals there. And our mark Rx equals where's our main? So no change there. Main here is RxT. See, this may not be exactly the right thing, but it's this helps me be more clear about what it is that I'm thinking. And we will indent this so I can keep track of what I'm doing. You know, a key goal of what I'm trying to do is essentially being strategically stupid. There's an old saying that if you write the cleverest code you can, see, debugging is about 3 times harder than writing code. And if you write code as clever as you can, then you will not be clever enough to debug it. And that wasn't what happened to me. So I need to make code that's way simpler, and therefore I'll be able to understand it and debug it. So some people say debugging is 10 times harder than coding, so you should make your code 10 times simpler than you can understand. All right, that looks like a well-formed bracket, and that looks like main is there, and then run tests should just happen here automatically. Booyah. This is also not need to be there. Test modules, and that makes this thing beautifully clean. We just create a bunch of tests here and then run them. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Shaka laka laka, boom, boom. And confused. And let's see if we get our, well, we're getting something in the console. What's the error? Let's just make sure. We should probably actually get a boom. Let's make this yeah, isolate those. Even cleaner. Yeah, but what's in our console? Not getting a console log. Not run anything. Anything at all here. And our script is still running just happily, right? We're all watching and updating all these things. Let's just go ahead and clear this out. So the nice thing is we can basically just get all of that just by getting rid of this. Simplify that. Do we actually watch the ourselves? Probably need to rerun that. If we have nothing, then oh. Let me see if I'm even thinking about this at all. Wait, we're not even running any tests. What are we actually doing that's causing a bug? Okay. Rate test doing nothing. Sweet. And now we're just happily just drawing our app and relabeling things. Okay. So right now we do nothing, we test nothing, we run nothing. Awesome! Nothing is awesome, especially when you're starting out. Now we actually start running. And right, this is now mock.rx. Here's an interesting question. So worth keeping mock.rx around? I suspect so. Probably worth reversing the order since we may not need it all the time. Woohoo! Yay! Pass basic tests. Sweet! Now we can actually start doing something. Awesome! Yeah, we'll keep it there. Okay. Whew, now we have a working test suite. Awesome! I've been trying to get this since the day we started, pretty much. And I just had to beat my head against the wall long enough to realize what was the problem I was trying to solve. And what I'm excited is now I get to go through all my code, rewrite it from scratch with tests. And that may sound like tedium for a lot of you, but I'm actually super excited about it. And one of the reasons I'm excited is that yesterday I was so excited that I was going to try and build something cool, and it was a complete disaster and it was a failure. But today, my goal is to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And in this one, I'm almost guaranteed to succeed because the focus is on the process we're going through rather than the result. And when you're excited about a process instead of a result, it's all good, even if you fail. Awesome! All right, let's get going. So we start by testing God, putting God to the test. Now, that sounds like kind of a dangerous, if not scary and impossible thing, but the cool part is that this is actually a good way to think about how you deal with God, is that we don't experience God directly. We experience the world he has created. And so first we're going to test if God exists. For this not undefined. And I am too lazy to count, so I'm just going to go with my T end as my test there. God exists! Awesome! Now, what it means for God to exist is not a whole lot. A lot of people obsess over the existence of God. It's not really very useful to think about that. The real question is, what are the properties of God? And what do we even mean by God? So in this case, God, our global object domain, if you recall correctly, is that God creates the world. Or at least he creates a world. Okay, so what that means is we give God our contexts. So that too many things here. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't even need that, right? Yeah. We are going to call on God with an Rx and a document. So world equals God Rx, document, and does the world exist? And we're getting an error somewhere, right? So what is being passed here as Rx? Let's see. World has a function called map, and okay, we do need to go back to our test thing. So one option, of course, is we pass in the real Rx. That would actually be simpler. So let's just do that. Rather than tying ourselves up in knots trying to pretend that none of it matters. And whoop, I crashed. I saved premature saving. Sorry about that. Ooh. Boom. Okay, but we don't need, who's looking for mock Rx anymore? Why are you looking at the old version of test? Okay, this is what I've got here. This is what's there in the test suite. That's bizarre. Let's go to our JS files. Gulp. It is annoying that gulp and git both start with G. And so my gulp file is misconfigured. Whoops. Let's see if we can figure out why. Okay. We do need to build both main and test. Bad daddy. Ooh. Okay, main test is not being created here. Let's spring files from web, watching files. Do we need to retouch all these things to make them? No, I don't need to build test.js, right? Right, because test is built into, okay, good daddy. Okay, let's rethink this now. We just have main, we rebuild main. We don't need We're not building main.js. Why aren't we building mail? Let's just try. Okay, test.coffee is upsetting main.coffee. What are we doing wrong here? Do we have a tab or something perverse in there? Tape, run tests. Let's just see if we can build this thing. Test.coffee. We can't build it directly, that's fine. This should be a module, which looks like any other module, which was working just fine a little while ago. Bad arguments. Sorry. Goofy me. Gulp main. Yes, okay. Now we can just gulp. It should do an automatic watch, build my thing, and at least get a meaningful error. Okay, first of all, let's so God is going to just return a world. And the world takes a label, document. It doesn't even need to take a document anymore, does it? Yes. World takes a label and the up. So this one should be label and up. And this should be label and up. So in fact, my whole mock RX might have worked after all, but it still, I think, proves that it was simpler to not worry about it. Looks like I'm creating a document here, and we need X. So so Rx is a primitive that is expected by the world because the documents we're creating are maps. So the options are either we pass the document in and then it doesn't need to think about it. Then it has to get it from somewhere else. So it would get it from down. So God knows about the external reality that we're signaling into. And it there or not? Well, okay, what is the simplest thing that would work? Would be to add Rx as a primitive. No. Is that God has to know about Rx. That's really the way we got to do this. And then I don't know about the theological implications of this, but that's pretty much, we build the model first, and our model of God never matches reality. That's one of the most important things you have to learn in theology, is to not eat the menu. But let's get a constructor here. And so get Rx. Just have Rx. Actually, it is just Rx, right? No, we want it to be get, because we have to be able to traverse. We'll use get raw. And that gives us a better test. And then we want okay, so we want it to be we have a get raw. Not this yet. Got. Who's calling the world? Who's creating the world? Stop creating the world. We're not ready for the world yet. This is pre-Genesis. This is trying to understand what is represented by God himself. Okay, excellent. Cool, I've got a feeling test. Gives me something to work on next time. This episode's running late. Gotta stop. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time as we do more awesome stuff.